Welcome back to my 100% playthrough of Heretic on the Black Plague Possesses the difficulty, played through the Heretic plus Hexen re-release on the Kex Engine. We are doing all levels with a 1 start, and this is E3M7, the Chasm. Let's begin by grabbing both quartz flasks, the ethereal arrows, and then moving back to where we were before, taking damage. Trust me, it's all worth it because we're just going to ignore those Ophidians, go up here, fight these Ophidians instead. We'll take some sips of our trusty sippy juice. Grab some more health pickups and then finally press this button to crush the Ophidians that were bothering us in this initial area. Now that they are dead, we can go out here and fight these golems. Ideally on this step so that all the enemies that will see you out there will do as little to harass you as possible, because there are iron liches there, and when you're around here and they fire at you, they will very likely hit you if you linger around for too long. Like you could have been hit there, for instance. But anyways, we're going to grab this bag of holding and then make our way out through this part, and then let the Ophidians come out, and then show them who's boss by playing peekaboo with them. Or if you want, you could play Hit Scan Harry with them. But either way, there's quite the chance that you will also wake up some gargoyles and fire gargoyles as well. So you want to get them out of the way too. Likewise with these undead warriors that will also appear. There are quartz flasks you can pick up in that area as well, which will make things considerably less a pain than they would be without them. But once all the Ophidians are out and about, you can go back from where they were and grab some things in their little hidey holes that they came out of, including quivers of ethereal arrows, quartz flasks, stuff like that. And once you have all that, you can go right back out to fight these undead warriors that we neglected to kill from before. And when you open this area up, there are more Ophidians. Such a ridiculous high quantity of these guys in this level, right? I'd say so. Anyways, there may still be some straggler gargoyles, some of which may like crawl through this opening here just to try to get an opportunity to scratch at your face. But once you've dealt with them, you can go into this area, press this button to open up this teleporter, deal with the saber claw to get some ammo for the dragon claw, which you'll acquire later. And by later, I mean now. And now you can press this button as well and be sent out through here. Now keep this place in mind because we're going to revisit it later for a very specific reason. But for now though, we're going to take a sip of our trusty sippy juice and head all the way over here to bait these undead warriors. But more importantly, to go right here to grab the shadow sphere, which we'll be using soon enough. But we want to go into this place, fight this disciple, grab the fire mace, wake up some Ophidians. Let's use that tome of power that we got as well. Bouncy bouncy. Press this button too. And go into here to grab a bag of holding and some ammo. And also, make sure you grab the silver shield. It's something I neglected to do while I was here. And here is the yellow key, at last. Let's finish this guy off too. Something I also neglected to do. But when we go out, after grabbing all that stuff, including the yellow key, some more Ophidians will be here. So let's finish them off too. And you know what? Let's use a regular fire mace. Just to go pew pew pew. Balls of steel. Something like that. Anyways, we can now go out here and deal with all these saber claws. And since this is a nice wide open space I'd say we can save the Shadow Spear for the time being. Even if they might hit you in the face at least once or twice. That's fine. But anyways, what you want to do while you're around here is go into this little corner to get this secret ring of invincibility. And once you have that, you can also go into this corner to get this secret enchanted shield. And once you have just about everything in these little hidey holes, we can mosey on over into this place, which has time bombs and quite a number of saber claws, so we are going to use that Shadow Spear here and now. And when you go into this place, there are some ghostly undead warriors, which is also a good reason to use that Shadow Spear. So let's finish all these guys off, press this button. We got to morphobe them out of this area. And when you press that button, it will reveal this area with more saber claws. Also a good reason why we use the Shadow Spear then and there. And likewise, there are undead warriors in the distance, which we are going to finish off with our Dragon Claw. And still using the Shadow Spear. So yes, right around this part is a very ample opportunity to use the Shadow Sphere. But when you press that button, that will allow you to grab the Hell Staff. We're not going to grab it just yet. Not until we get rid of these Ophidians that were harassing us earlier and adding on top of our misery. And of course, you could try this technique out to at least soften them up. Come here. Yeah. Finish you off. Wonderful. Probably a little too overkill, but while you're here, you can also likewise snipe the disciples that were also harassing you. Maybe even the saber claw that's swimming around in the guck and the sludge. And hell, let's use the Elven Wand too. And look at this fella. Look at these fellas. You can hit, scan, and harry them from this range. Absolutely devious. But anyways. Here's why I didn't grab the Hell Staff till now. It's because you get jump scared by a Molitar. And I'd rather fight him one-on-one. I don't know about you guys. Even if you run out of ammo, you can still fight him and finish him off with what you got. But there are pickups here that you could also grab if you really want to finish him off with a Hell Staff beforehand. But anyways, you can go through these portals when you're done with everything. And you can push this button, which will reveal disciples. What a surprise. And look, there's a symmetrical area. I wonder what that will provide for us. Well, take a wild guess. You press the button, disciples appear. Place a time bomb there for their troubles. But while you're here, you can kind of just wiggle around, grab all the items, grab the greater runes. When you step here, this area opens up with 3 disciples. And they were guarding a Morphobum. And also while you're here, you can grab the green key and open this area up to reveal more Ophidians guarding some time bombs in a secret area. He was going around. He's afraid. But anyways, once you finish all that, you should have a respectable amount of secrets at this point. And you can make your way through the green door and down towards the area closer to what may be the titular chasm of the chasm. So you'll encounter saber claws and, well, more saber claws and more saber claws, you know. They're kind of all over this section, but occasionally you'll encounter some other enemies in this sort of maze-like section. But this is not what I believe to be the chasm from the chasm. But we're really close to it. So we're just going to grab all the items we can to make sure our journey is as safe as can be. Even if you have to waddle through the sludge to go to certain areas. You actually really don't have to if you don't want to. But you do have to go into this area, which has this place, which is not a secret in this release. It has a Phoenix Rod and some ammo for it, which is very nice to have. But over here is what I believe to be the chasm from the chasm. So let's just run straight forward. You might have to waddle left and right in order to move around properly in this place. Grab all the stuff, including the blue key, and most importantly, the Wings of Wrath. And let's fly through the chasm into this corner so we can fight some enemies, including, but not limited to, an Iron Lich, who probably would have dealt a lot of damage to me if I ran right into that without a shield. And Ophidians and fire gargoyles. Let's try not to dawdle for too long, but we can go over here, grab the Wings of Wrath, the Enchanted Shield, and if you need them, big mace spheres. But anyways, yes, you did hear another Iron Lich here. Not too difficult to blow him up, even if he does fire a bunch of tornadoes your way. Likewise, it's not too difficult to fight all these other enemies as well. You know, I'm gonna use this attack on you just because. Yeah. Alright, so let's use the second Wings of Wrath and go through the other part of the chasm and fight this Iron Lich, who's been also making our life hell, but he got into quite a number of infights, so he went down rather easily, didn't he? But anyways, we get more pickups out of this. Also didn't need to do that, but I did anyway, because it's funny. You want to get the Shadow Spear in that area too. It's very easy to miss, but at the same time, you want to make sure that you get everything. Anyways, now we have just about everything. We can go back through this part. And when we do, you will realize that a bunch of new areas have opened up. Like this one, which has saber claws in it. Big surprise, huh? That area had a mystic urn. But there are more areas that opened up as well that I'm going to use the Shadow Spear on, as well as the Tome of Power. Just so we can kill all these enemies very quickly, especially these Ophidians, who really like to inconvenience you with their existence alone. But as you can see, that is just about every little hidey hole. This one had the Gauntlets of the Necromancer, though, which I might not even use. In fact, I feel like staffing some enemies. I believe there's also another little hidey hole that has another pickup here that we can make use of. I might have grabbed it already, though. So don't hesitate to double check these little corners, because this place is a little bit of a maze, let's be real. Still rather linear, but also still a maze. Weird how that works, huh? But here's the place I was referring to. Yes, I will dawdle around in the sludge. But not for too long. Anyways, here's what we wanted to get. A map scroll. And if you're here, yes, there's still plenty of these guys to go around. And since we don't have the Shadow Sphere anymore, they can smell you, or hear you, or see you, and they'll try to swing at you. But in this little hidey hole where they came from is a quartz flask. So yeah, look at all the sippy juice. Look at the rings of invincibility we got out of this whole ordeal. And we are still 10 items short. Isn't that funny? But here's one of them, the Chaos Device. And that should be most of the enemies in this area. Actually, it should be all of them, I think. And since we have the blue key, we can go through here, and you know what? We can use everything we have that we can throw at these guys. Like these Iron Liches, screw them. And these guys, a bunch of disciples, they can go straight to hell. And when you go towards the switch, you get a secret area with 2 quartz flasks. They both count towards the secret. And also while you're here, here's what we saved the Wings of Wrath for. Yeah, this part. Yeah, it counts as a secret. It has another ring of invincibility. But at this point, I think we're good on those, right? So, I didn't use too many items here. You probably can on certain enemies like the Saber Claws, maybe even the Ophidians, like the Morphobum, the Tomes of Power. You could also probably get some good mileage out of them in other areas as well. But this is still a pretty good guaranteed way to consistently do this level, so it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, as you can see, we got all the kills, all the secrets, and all the items, so let's end the penultimate level of Heretic. And that is the Chasm, and yeah, that start changed quite a bit compared to the original, I'd say. It is a very mean start, for sure, compared to what it used to be. And even throughout the level, there's still quite a number of mean encounters that they tweaked to make this level, I guess, more befitting of a penultimate level than Doom's, I suppose. I mean, by default, this level is already quite the penultimate level compared to Doom's, because there's still a lot of things to do in it, but also they added some very interesting changes, I'd say. Interesting, maybe, but some of them are kind of weird. Like, why would they add an area that you need the Wings of Wrath in order to get a secret from? I know there are still things in the previous levels that require you to use the Wings of Wrath, but they went out of their way to add this one to this level, which is particularly strange to me, at least. But either way, like, the core foundation of the level is still intact for the most part, because you still have to go through the titular chasm, deal with the Iron Lich encounters, multiple of them, and get the Wings of Wrath and use that, ideally, to get all that you need from places like this. So, when you deal with all these areas, you have to save a Wings of Wrath pickup for that one secret area that requires it. And it gives you a ring of invincibility. It's also near the end too, so it's like, if you don't use any of those rings of invincibility, which I didn't really do. You could probably use them sooner because there's quite a few to go around. For instance, the one that you get from the area with the Ophidians, you could potentially use that against the Molitor, or in the areas with all the Saber Claws if they overwhelm you, or in a place with the Iron Liches in the titular chasm to make things potentially easier. But aside from all of that, we are done with the chasm. And in the next video, we will finally confront the Sparrow once and for all. So stay tuned for that, because in the next video, we are going into the Sparrow's Keep. But until then, I'll see you when I see you. So see ya.